Welcome back to Sky Sports. It's just gone 11 o'clock this morning and we have some breaking news out of the Red Bull Racing camp. They've announced that their second driver, Zach Cronin, will not return to the team in 2022. Of course, this news just comes 2 days after the Brits crash late on in the Australian Grand Prix, and it appears that the higher-ups have made the decision to not re-sign Cronin. We asked Cronin for a comment, however no comment was given. With just 2 races to go in the 2021 F1 season, it is unclear whether the number 37 will return to the grid next year. But with openings at McLaren and Mercedes, a move from Milton Keynes to either Woking or Brackley may potentially be on the cards for Cronin. Meanwhile, in terms of a replacement, Red Bull have reportedly in contact with Sergio Perez over a race seat. The Mexican lost his drive.
What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 34 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you are new around here, make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, we have been dropped. Our contract is not getting renewed for the 2022 season with Red Bull. We have 21 days from here, 3 weeks, until our contract runs out on Monday the 13th of December, the day after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is only in 2 rounds' time. It's the second to last race of the season, going to Jeddah for the first time. It should be very exciting. So looking forward to getting this Grand Prix underway and looking to try and close on 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship. Try and get those points back from Valtteri. A good race, perhaps another win today could do it for us, depending on where he finishes. I think a 4th place finish would be enough for us to take 3rd place, and of course Verstappen still fighting Lewis for the title. In terms of upgrades though, this will likely be the last upgrades of the season we're making here, so we'll look around to see what sort of thing we can get in before Abu Dhabi. We've got a major powertrain upgrade we can do beforehand, and in terms of aero, I'm going to try and see if we can get one in that department. We get 2 here, 2 minor ones going in before the last race, just after Jeddah. So no upgrades in for this Grand Prix, of course, because we've got a bit of a lead now of Mercedes in terms of being the fastest car. So back on top there in terms of R&D, that should be a safe for the rest of the season. In terms of the power unit, then we'll make a change to our energy store here. Obviously use our free power unit move, and then from there put a 3rd one on. The IC I'm slightly concerned about. We'll keep an eye on these parts going into qualifying, because our 5th turbocharger is there on the board. There is our championship standings. Verstappen still treading Lewis now by 21 points. He's getting close to Lewis being able to seal the title potentially today if he gets a good enough result. We sit 11 points back from Bottas. Obviously Hamilton won the rivalry last time out, so no rival left to go for, nothing to focus on there at the end of the season. And more advanced time now, closing in on the second to last round of the season in Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah Street Circuit making its debut on the Formula 1 calendar. Of course, I think the 1-2 will be crucial for us to keep our Constructors' hopes alive with Red Bull, despite being dropped on to try and win the Constructors' title with them. Let's jump now into the race weekend and begin our quest for the title. Time then for qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, the second to last round of the season, and of course our first venture out onto the Jeddah Street Circuit in Ultimate Career. Always good to have a new track on the circuit. Of course, the original Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in 2021 was a very, very enjoyable race to watch, so hopefully it'll be enjoyable to drive in this time around. Of course, the iconic Verstappen-Hamilton collision in the closing laps led to Hamilton losing with his front wing. Verstappen obviously taking advantage of that, but Hamilton obviously taking advantage of the resounding penalty Verstappen then got, so went on to win the race and tie the points going to Abu Dhabi. I think there's no risk of that going into today's race. So on to our first flying lap then. Jeddah, one of the fastest street circuits, if not the fastest street circuit now in the world, going down towards turn 1 and making our way through the first couple of corners. Of course, very different circuit to drive with this set of regulations compared to obviously everything from F1 22 onwards we've been used to the last couple of years. Out turns 2 and 3 and down towards 4, one of the tighter corners on the circuit, and beginning at the very technical part of this first sector. Going through 5 now, long sweeping right-hander, and then to the left is going back and forth, back and forth. The constant change in direction is something to keep on top of over the course of the lap. Over the end of the first sector though, coming through where the DRS zone is, because of course the DRS zone was here going towards turn 13 prior to it being moved out of turn 17. So coming through to complete our first lap. Yeah, damage there, hitting the inside wall, getting a bit too aggressive in terms of finding where the limits are on this circuit. So at turn 24, with the 27 make up the circuit, a lot of damage to be done there if we make too many mistakes. But luckily only a minor bit of damage to the front wing, so we continue on our lap here into turn 27 on corner exit, of course, where Verstappen crashed on his last lap in qualifying in real life. Stroll with the line, 1:29.1 to complete his first time of the session. It'll be 1:28.2 for us, fastest time so far, but Carlos Sainz dispatches immediately 1:27.7, gives us a lot of work to do. Of course, we'll have to come to the pit lane to repair that front wing and go again on a fresh set of soft tyres. I'm thinking we'll use all 3 here, try and go for 3 laps in this session. Down to P6, but a second off the pace of Verstappen. Him and Bottas at the exact same time there in P1 and P2, and Hamilton about half a tenth back from those guys. So some work to do here on our second lap, coming through to complete the first sector on lap 2. It's been a fantastic start up to a purple sector here in the first sector, so coming through, this could be a very high potential lap to come through towards the line and bring a full second of improvement towards the line. 1:27.230, and that's enough for provisional pole. And it's been a while since we've been on pole position in Ultimate Career. The last time was Imola back in round 2. It's been a long time ago. We've struggled in qualifying since. We're both on our last set of soft tyres and go for one more lap in the closing stages. We're only about 300s in front of Verstappen and Bottas, so it's a tenth covering the top 4 right now. And on to our last lap, Verstappen does supersede us and take pole position back, 1:26.5 to beat. And we've really a lot of improvement, about 7 tenths in order to try to take pole back. It's to make our way towards turn 27 for the last time here in qualifying, improved by about 2 tenths or so. We're trying to get to a quarter of a second on corner exit potentially. Stroll right there in front of us, of course, at the initial time, coming up towards the line to complete qualifying. It looks like P4, not sure what Hamilton's time is, potentially trying to improve here towards the line here, 1:27.046, still in 4th place, so disappointing the pole position was taken from us in the closing moments, but of course P4 still a respectable start place.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Verstappen, Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Verstappen then takes another pole position, a quarter of a second in front of Bottas, Hamilton 3rd, and we are at 4th, about half a second behind our pole sitter teammate. So honestly, we've got pace in this Red Bull. We were on pole for a second. It could be there. The 1-2 could very much be on. But it's time now to jump into the Grand Prix and try and close some points on the 2 Mercedes cars.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. An interesting circuit this one, the newest on the Formula One calendar. And like most street circuits, it's sure to present the drivers with an interesting technical challenge. Some challenging turns for the drivers to negotiate as well. And at the same time, they're going to have to manage their tyres very carefully in this heat. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Anthony Davidson, what types of strategy do you think we can expect for today's event?
Well, there's a lot that both the driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery systems, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, and Kimi Räikkönen, Mick Schumacher, Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. George Russell and Gasly, Vettel, Stroll, Fernando Alonso and Nicholas Latifi, Mazepin and Cohen. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and plot twist, between qualifying and the race, I did change the ICE. It was looking quite worn in the closing moments of qualifying, so we made a change there, trying to avoid any risk of a retirement, and we'll start from dead last on the grid as a result. But the pace in this Red Bull, we can easily try and come up through the field. Soft tyres to start, and then 15 laps on mediums to the checker flag, trying to avoid the mistake we made in Australia, pitting onto the hard tyres. Here we go now, 22 place grid penalty for a component change. Here come the lights for the first ever Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, 2 rounds left to go in the season. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are underway and the last of first begins. Gingerly gets away there. Mazepin and Latifi in front of us, I think, for the first time all season in terms of track position, going towards turn 1. On the inside of Latifi towards the first corner. Look to get the first of hopefully 19 places in this Grand Prix. Around the outside at turn 2 and pulling in front of the Canadian on corner exit. So that's 1 place up already. I considered trying to thread the needle between Mazepin and Alonso, but didn't think I'd go for it. On the inside going towards turn 4. Mazepin and Alonso side by side in front of us. We'll try and beat out the corner whoever loses in this fight. Mazepin on the inside going through turn 5 into 6 around the outside of the Russian and up into P18. That's 2 places now in this first sector. Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, our next target, also took a penalty to my knowledge. We make our way to the end of the first sector here into the inside of Alonso, but he cuts the door, slams it on us, and we hold on to P18 for now. Try to make a move down the inside if we can, going towards turn 13 on the inside of Alonso, making the move and up into P17 just with the tap the inside wall and contact with Stroll as well. Stroll on corner exit, our next target for P16 here. It's been a fantastic first lap, getting a few places so far in this Grand Prix to make our way up through the gears once again, going through turns 16 and 17, and on corner exit to try and get to the inside of Stroll, going to pull to the left hand side, going down what is now the DRS straight, going towards the next braking zone, down at turn 22, the chicane, clearing Stroll with the battery and making their way through his try and challenge his teammate Vettel as we go in towards 22, 23 and then 24 of course will be the second DRS straight on the circuit. Vettel there in front of us, going to go to the outside, going off of the corner, and with our battery to our advantage, taking Vettel. Can we take Russell? 2 taps to the outside wall there, going towards the last braking zone, turn 27, around Russell. Can we try and dive on Schumacher 2? Down the inside from a long way back. It's egregious. There's contact. We'll try and wrestle our way past off the corner. Schumacher the better exit. Verstappen leads lap 1. We'll pull clear the Haas, and that's 7 places gained on the opening lap alone. Great start then, so we'll get to work on trying to close down the race leaders.
With tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
No issues with tyres or damage, and so into turn 1, our former teammate Pierre Gasly next in P12, then Raikkonen and Ocon in front of him on the run down through turn 3 and towards turn 4 on the outside of the Frenchman now, going towards the left-hander and making our way through side by side with the AlphaTauri and looking to pull ahead on corner exit. Will do just that and take the place away, so that's another good place gain into P12 now. Raikkonen, then Ocon holding the last few places here on the outside of Raikkonen, going through turns 7 and 8 and making the pass stick on the inside, and now another place there, P11 for us, and Ocon our next target to run down through 12 and towards 13. No DRS as of yet, one more lap until that comes into play, but closing on Ocon, won't go for him just yet, but pushing on down towards turn 22 again, this time making the pass on Ocon on the outside, but the inside for the braking zone, obviously for the chicane on the exit. On the inside though, for now, and pulling clear and shutting the door on Ocon, points paying place then within the first lap and a half of this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. A lot of progress. It's a very high speed circuit here in Saudi Arabia. It's a fantastic track for these regulations. On to lap 3 then, Giovinazzi, our next target and our first dosage of DRS here on the outside, and the Italian going down towards 13. Once again, that sweeping left-hander at the far end of the circuit, around the outside of the Alfa Romeo and up into 9th place. Yuki Tsunoda and then Charles Leclerc in front of us. Verstappen still leading the two Mercedes cars in front of about 6 seconds in front as of right now. Plenty of work still to be done as we make our way through onto the DRS straight once again out of turn 24 and towards 25 now. Tsunoda is our next target, making our way towards the braking zone once again. Leclerc not too far in front. Yuki gets DRS off of him and to the inside now with the AlphaTauri going towards the corner, and we're going all the way to the left hand side of the racetrack, and on corner exit pulling clear of the Japanese driver. Once again another place in our possession, that's Charles Leclerc next in front of us, going down towards turn 1. DRS on him again towards the first corner to start our next lap, and we might try and go for a dive here towards this first corner, down the inside again of the Monegasque into turn 1. Another place gained then, making fantastic progress, but Leclerc onto the rumble strips a little bit there, but on corner exit will secure the place. No contact made. That's our place then. Another fantastic overtake early on in this Grand Prix. Puts us into P7 now. Sainz and Ricciardo, our next two targets here on lap 4. And pushing on to lap 5. These two going side by side, going down towards turn 4. This will be a prime opportunity for us to take advantage. The more they go side by side, the more time we can gain here. Verstappen, Bottas and Hamilton still in the top 3, pulling away right now. We're closing in the more this race carries on. We're pulling away from the Sainz and Ricciardo, but we're closing on those two cars. DRS once again being our favourite, so will Ricciardo, going down towards turn 13. DRS open once again, going to pull to the right hand side of the racetrack to make the move stick once more as we did in Giovinazzi. Into the left hander we go on the outside of Ricciardo, who keeps his foot in it and stays right alongside us there. On corner exits, make our way down towards 14. Obviously the braking zone will be at turn number 16 here, pulling clear of the overtake and trying to jump into P6, trying to guarantee that place. On corner exit will take it and up into 6th now. Sainz, the last target, then Lando Norris, and obviously up towards the leaders again, back towards the drivers we recognise. On the outside of Sainz, going towards 27, and once again another place secure. Only Lando Norris now separates us from the race leaders as there goes Sainz again on the inside. Might try and challenge us here down the main straight, going towards turn 1. Sainz is close. We've got very little overtake here as we go down towards this first corner. On to lap 6. Sainz closes in. We use our battery again, going towards the first corner. Sainz to the outside, will cut him off and make sure he can't make that move. Then going to turn 1. So Sainz stays where he is. So P5 is secure for us for now. And our charge for the field only interrupted briefly by Nikita Mazepin, who retires in the race on lap 6, going nice and dandy through turn 1 and 2. And the smoke goes out from that Haas. It's been a quiet season, both Williams and Haas. This points for both those two cars. Russell, Latifi, Schumacher and Mazepin all yet to score this season. So disappointing for the two rookies in the Haas machine. We know that Schumacher will be back next season, but Mazepin is his career set to draw to a close in Formula 1. This will be the last we see of him after Abu Dhabi in Ultimate career. On to lap 7 though, fastest lap to boot, going towards turn 1, and Norris our next target. I consider the dive here, won't go for it into this first corner. We'll stay where we are for now and try and set up for a better move later on as we go through turns 1 and 2 behind our compatriot in the McLaren, and pushing on later into the lap, going towards the DRS zone once again on corner exit of turn number 12, and making our way through here. DRS open once more as we did in Ricciardo, as we did in Giovinazzi. Going to go to the outside of the racetrack, try and pull alongside Norris into the left hander we go, and making the pass stick this time. Norris fights a bit more, we go a bit wider there on our line through 13, so Norris gets back alongside us going towards 14. Use our back to once again, try to make that pass stick on Norris up into 4th place now, so the whole field has been cleared more or less, and the only driver standing in our way right now are Max Verstappen, our teammate, and the two Mercedes cars who are fighting for that Constructors' Championship, trying to beat both those two cars if we can.
The teammate ahead is 6.1 seconds.
6 seconds the gap here. On to lap 10, and coming to the end of our first stint. The soft tyres have been fantastic in this fast part of the race, despite us obviously being our qualifying tyre. The Bottas comes in with the two Mercedes cars. Hamilton stays out, tries to chase Verstappen for a lap longer here, so we'll see if we can try and gain some time in the pit lane on those two cars. So coming in now for our first stop, medium tyres going on, avoided the mistake we made in Australia, pitting on to the hards, we didn't need to, and no need for a 2-stop this time around. Making our way now out of the pit lane behind Bottas once again. We'll try and get around him though. We're a lot closer to him than we were going into the pit lane, so we'll see if we can make a move between the lap car, well not lap cars, the cars who are obviously staying out on the racetrack on their old soft tyres. We come out the pit lane then, rejoining in 8th place, Bottas 7th, and then Ocon, who obviously passed earlier on, in 6th place. So we push further on into the lap, going down towards 13, once again closing on Bottas using DRS to our advantage here. I'm sensing a move, yes, into turn number 13, and diving to the inside of Bottas, trying to take that place, and that's an actual place there in terms of race order. Of course, Bottas, we're fighting for 3rd place in the championship. We're 11 points back from going into this one, so if we can win this race, he finishes 4th, there'll be enough for us jumping going into the last round. Ocon there in front of us now on corner exit out of turn 17 and through 18, and DRS, no DRS here until we get to the exit turn 24, so we're closing on Ocon though, using our battery once again. Overtake is on, pulling to the right hand side of the racetrack, trying to clear him going into the braking zone of turn 22, and Tsunoda just there in front of him going through the corner, and we'll take Ocon there and put a car in between myself and Bottas for now. Imagine Bottas will clear him, or Ocon will pit regardless, so Bottas will emerge back behind us. Tsunoda giving us DRS as it stands, going through turn number 26 towards 27. Hamilton and Verstappen both in the pits here, so we'll see if we gained any time by being on the medium tyres for 1 lap extra. Have we lost any being stuck behind Bottas and Ocon over the course of about half that lap? Tsunoda comes in, DRS to our advantage once more, going down the main straight onto lap 12 here, nearing the halfway stage of this Grand Prix. Bottas stays in the racetrack there behind us, going towards turn 1, medium tyres for Hamilton, but Verstappen, we've cleared Hamilton, we haven't cleared Verstappen, so Verstappen reclaims the race lead then. He needs that for the Drivers' Championship. We sit in 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, and Bottas now in 4th, so we can try and take Verstappen and obviously get the place we need for our Drivers' Championship pursuit, but obviously denying Verstappen points. But at this stage, do you know what? Red Bull are dropping us. There's not really a lot we can do in terms of Max's Drivers' Chase. I see no reason for us to help him out, given they're letting us go at the end of the season. So we'll try and fight him for the race lead here, and think about it, last to first, if we can try and pull that off, it'd be fantastic. On the outside of Verstappen, they've got plenty of time to make that work then on lap 13, and around the outside, taking the lead from our teammate, but obviously DRS games will come into play here as we make our way into turn 27, and Verstappen will get DRS on corner exit here, going down the main straight. Bit of a slide here off the last corner. Verstappen seizes this chance, goes to the outside. Two teammates once again side by side. We've come out on top against him a few times this season. Of course, he's beaten us a fair few times as well. Going towards turn 1, Verstappen takes the lead. I considered a dive to the inside again, as we thought to try and do on Norris, but thinks better of it once again. Stays in line, maintains P2 for now. So we'll try and play DRS games ourselves here. On to lap 15, further on to lap 14 of this Grand Prix, sorry. Going down towards the braking zone of 22 once more, pulling alongside Verstappen. We'll try and back off a little bit, try and ensure that Verstappen still holds the lead as we make our way through the chicane once again. Try and ensure we'll get DRS this time round. So back behind him, but by a car length here. DRS into play, will go back to his outside and reclaim the place, but obviously there's still DRS zones to contend with on corner exit going down towards turn 27. So what we'll do here, we'll take the lead from Verstappen, and we'll use a bit of a wider line here going through this last corner. So pulling to the right hand side of the racetrack, Verstappen seizes this chance and only just gets back in front of us for that detection line there on the corner exit, and we'll use that to our advantage, slot back into line, give it a toe here, build up the DRS, and then charge down the main straight again onto lap 15 of this race on the outside of Verstappen now, going into turn 1. This should be our place here, clearing the Dutchman and taking the race lead outright, and now our work is try and build a lead, try and maintain that for the last 10 laps of this Grand Prix. This could be a masterful victory if we can pull it off, and a huge punch in the face we could try and throw back at Red Bull, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. On to lap 17 then, Verstappen is out of DRS range there, 1.7 back. I think Lewis Max will be catching with this stage of the Grand Prix. Pushing on to lap 22 now, just 4 laps to go in this thing, and we are pushing on 4.5 seconds to the good at this point in the race.
Don't panic just yet, but we've seen a problem at our end. We're looking into it.
There's a problem. I'm not liking that. Everything on the power unit seems fine. I don't know what it could be. I'm quite nervous now. It's pushed further on onto lap 22, making our way through turn 13, trying to hold onto the car. No!
Have a severe engine issue. Find a safe
The turbocharger again! Another one! We've been through several turbochargers this season. You are actually joking me. This is our 4th retirement, and it's the most heartbreaking of the lot. We came from last in the order, and we gapped Verstappen in the closing laps of this race. This is going to be win number 4 of the season, and perhaps the biggest punch we could have thrown back at the higher-ups of Red Bull has been sent spinning back into our faces and sending us careering to the canvas. We're already being dropped by Red Bull. This is just a second knife in our backs here, and the turbocharger, let's go once again. A 4th retirement from 15 rounds. I don't believe it. And another race victory taken from us in perhaps the cruelest way possible, and we will not win the first Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
A sterling effort from the team and a magnificent drive to secure victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So Verstappen then picks up the trophy that I say he really doesn't deserve, given that we had him over the course of that Grand Prix. We were by far the faster Red Bull. But we'll take another victory then, crucial towards this championship fight, and we'll see how much closer he gets to Lewis going into the last round in Abu Dhabi, and of course excessive damage from our retirement today here in Jeddah. I'm so disappointed.
Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I think it has to be Fernando Alonso. He got the strategy spot on and consistently had the pace to come through as well.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So there it is then, there's your top 10. I'm still sort of lost for words here, how this Red Bull that was meant to be the fastest car on the grid has let us down so many times in terms of reliability. Verstappen's had 1 retirement all season, that was Singapore. We had 4 of them, and it's gutting here that all 4 of them have been opportunities for us to win races. That's 100 points we've lost, 125 if we're adding the crash, which is obviously our fault in Australia. But there we go then, 19th place and a DNF with just 4 laps to go, 3.5 at that. But look at the championship then, in terms of standings, the title will go to Abu Dhabi, but this time Verstappen goes in 14 points behind Lewis. Bottas looks to be set in 3rd place. We're actually only 4 points clear of Norris right now, so we're fighting to maintain P4 in the last round. But look at that, 120 points back. We could have been in the lead if not for those 5 crucial points in the season. We could be in the title lead going to the last round, but some things are just meant to happen in Formula 1. It's destiny at this stage. And Red Bull, 40 points back. That's almost a 1-2 out touching distance from Mercedes. I think it's safe to say they've wrapped the constructors up. And reliability has plagued the Red Bull team, ourselves in particular. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of F1 Ultimate Career. I'm thoroughly disappointed with the result, disappointed with the team, and I'm glad we only have 1 more race to go with these guys. Hope you've enjoyed it though. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Until next video, have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time for the finale of Season 2.